Quit stealing and hogging up my feelings.
Hey, what's up, you guys? I'm Derek Jones. I'm a comic book artist, illustrator, painter from time to time. And this is my show called Refilling the Well. Basically, like the whole gist behind the show is that I've been using Pinterest for like the last probably 2 years pretty heavily, and it's been great. I've been finding like new artists and new things to inspire me, but I feel like I've kind of betrayed all of the books around me, all the books that I've accumulated over the years. So this show is basically a way to just kind of get reacquainted with all the books that I've fallen in love with, all the books that I've had for years that I kind of will read once or twice and then kind of put away. So yeah, this is that. We're just gonna do some flip throughs of some books. Hold up. Hey Siri, how do you say Montpellier in French? Montpellier. Montpellier. So Werewolves of Montpellier. This is one of my favorite comic books of all time. This is the comic that got me into drawing comics. I moved to Doylestown in 2010 or 2011. Stepped away from doing music. I found a comic shop that was like really close to me. I went in there, was looking for some stuff. I hadn't read a comic book in I'd say like a year or two. Been a while. And I just saw this and I grabbed it and I opened it. Oh man, you can see how used and abused this book is. I mean, the spine's cracked, but this thing just spoke to me. You know, I don't know what it is. We'll find out. But actually, you can see I met Jason in 2012. Got signed. I feel really bad because when I went to go meet him, he had just got done signing. Cause I got there like super late, and I had like pretty much every Jason book that I could possibly bring on this trip with me. I had like probably 10 books with me, and I was like, "Hey, I'm super sorry I'm late. Like, is it okay if you sign these?" And he was just like, "Yes, just please no drawing." And I was like, "Oh yeah, dude, I don't give a fuck." Let's crack into this. And what really got me into this was these drawings. Up until this point, I wasn't familiar with things like Tintin, European comics in general. I'd never seen anything like this before. I'd never seen anything that was just shot and drawn so simply. And I'd never seen anything using like anthropomorphic characters kind of in these like real life kind of situations. Like when I read through this, it reminded me of like a Wes Anderson comic who I was like a huge fan of at the time. It just reminded me of like his works because it's just like the scenes, this is like literally the same panel, and Wes Anderson kind of does stuff like this. The pacing, the perspectives are very, very easy, very spot on, very straightforward perspectives. Nothing crazy dynamic. This stuff was just mind blowing to me. At the time, the only comics I had really read was Hard Boiled. I read like a bunch of Frank Miller stuff. There we go. I read like a bunch of Frank Miller stuff. I'll keep flipping through. And pretty much The Walking Dead and a couple of Vasilis Lolo's books, Rick Spears books. But this for some odd reason, man. And I think, and this is gonna sound really rude, but I think the simplicity of this made me realize that I could do comics as well, because I was like, okay, well, if I can draw this simple, I should be able to do a comic. And it took me a really long time to really understand everything that he's really doing here. I mean, this is simple on the outside, but it's very, this is a master at work. You know what I mean? But at the time, like I said, I'd never seen anything like this, so I just thought, this was just guy just being like, I don't know, very simple, just like cartoony, just I don't know, just I know like a lot of people started drawing because of Rob Liefeld and like how like kind of his approach to comics was, where he was just like, you don't have to be as accurate, you don't have to be, the best artist in the planet to draw comics. And I think that's what this book kind of spoke to me as, because not saying that the art in this is bad or anything. I love Jason's art, obviously. I mean, I have every single book he's ever done. But just seeing like how simple everything was, and like how simple these shots are, and how they're just little things change between each panel. Like I was just like, oh man, it seems like super, like anyone can do this. And what I learned was that no, you can't. This is very hard to do. It's very hard to pull this off. This is very tricky stuff here. It took me years to realize how awesome the colors are in these books too. How they're literally just complementary colors pretty much. Keeps everything very simple. Blue versus yellow, blue versus orange. This is one of my favorite scenes. This is like another thing that I picked up from Jason was aspect to aspect shots was something that I never knew. I'd only seen stuff like this done in movies. I didn't know that you could do this in comic book form. You're allowed to really kind of do this stuff more so with graphic novels, which is what this technically is. But this was another thing, man. I got to this page and I was just like, this is literally a full page of this guy walking around sketching Paris. Montpellier? I forget already. So this stuff was like mind-blowing to me, man. I was just like, cool, I want to try this in my comics. Once again, this looks really simple and easy to do, but it's very hard to pick these moments that you're going to be like, okay, if I'm going to draw a whole silent page where nothing's really happening, but you're just getting a glimpse into what this character does every day, you got to really be able to pick those moments. And, there's still a story being told here. Clearly this guy's lonely. He's like a lonely artist living in France, just trying to fill up the sketchbook, And then, this whole page right here is just... at the time, too, I'd been watching a lot of Woody Allen, which I actually might go back to. I haven't watched any Woody Allen in years. He's one of my favorites, too. But this whole page and sequence just reminded me of... what was it? Manhattan. There's, a scene in Manhattan where they're just, wandering around. They go into, a planetarium. But... just the interactions of these two characters, just on this page was just so cool. Man, I'm just looking at this stuff now. It's just bringing back so many memories. Here's another page that's cool too, of just this woman singing, which was something else I didn't realize you could do in comics too at the time. This is movie stuff, man. So this stuff really informed my first couple years, and even to this day, my comic booking. My comic booking, is that a word? Is that a term? But then here's where you get to meet the, he likes this girl. She's a lesbian. She doesn't like him back. But then you get to meet her girlfriend comes into the frame. She's just like, what the fuck's this guy doing here? But just look at the drama, man. This guy, you just get so much in this panel. This one simple panel of just how lonely this guy is, Also this panel, she comes in, she's basically serenading him. He's the cat likes him. Everything should point to him being in this girl's life, but she's not into him. She's already got a lover. So good. Just taking, this is another thing too, just taking the time to show that He says, I better go. No, I'd better head home. He heads home. You literally could just do, no, I'd better head home, and then skip to this panel. But Jason takes the time to just, he just takes the time to be able to like show these moments in time, which are really cool. Which I think the French typically do in their comics because they have the page space to do so, and they have the book length to do so. If this was like a 22-page action, superhero comic, you really don't have time to kind of do this kind of stuff. Some more cool aspect to aspect shots. This stuff right here, just these things right here, man. It's stuff that I love to do to this day. I even did when I stopped making comics for a little bit, I did a whole series of just buildings. And people would always come up and be like, hey, what comic is this from? Like, is this from like your graphic novel? And I'm like, no, but I like that you're picking up that I'm very influenced by comics, But I love stuff like this. French and the mangaka are able to pull this off so well. Earlier they talked about taking the escalator, how you get to see a woman's ass, and our boy is just like, oh shit, should I do it? And he's just like, nah, dude, I can't be a creep. So he ends up taking the stairs. If you ever have like a conversation kind of going on in your comic, man, this is how you can pull it off. Super simple, just perspective. This guy's here, she's here. Put them both on the same plane, and turn that plane around. Now she's bigger because she's leaving. Just super simple shit, man. Super, like, I think if you're getting into comics, you should definitely pick up some Jason. He did for like a while. Like, I know a couple of his like first books that he was doing. A lot of them were silent, so they all relied on him just being able to tell a story with no words. And once he starts adding words into it, I think his work elevates even more. I liked it when it was silent, but I love it even more with his dialogue over top. Got your great party shot here. Come on, man. What are we doing? Let's check it out. Let's get in closer real quick. Look at that shot. Super simple in execution. Just shows you just what you can do with perspective, man. And super simple perspective too. Who hasn't been to a party where you're just like, fuck, I shouldn't have come here. Then he sees his boy, Igor, Sven, and then look at this. Dope shot. They're friends. We already know they're friends, but like, they're literally just like, damn, dude, we just saved each other. Hell yeah. So they're both drunk in this scene. And the panels, because when you get super drunk, the whole world is dizzy. And so he shows that instead of like, an amateur or someone that's just like, doesn't really care about this scene, a thing that you could do is just to be like, have the characters talk about how drunk they are as they're walking home. Jason literally puts you into how drunk these guys are by just constantly shifting this camera up and around, up and over, up and over, up and over, until finally he's like, shit, I'm in bed. But this was such a cool scene, man. Great stuff here. So, it's a good story, too. I love the story. Definitely pick it up. This was a great introduction into getting back into comics, and something that really made me be like, you know what? I'm going to try this shit out. I'm going to try and make some of my own comics. Like, if this guy can do this kind of stuff, I can too. Which, I'm still working towards 10 years later, so it just goes to show you how hard this is to pull off. But I think if you want to start your comic journey, you never really made comics before, definitely pick this up. It just shows you what you can do with shots, how you can just tell a story in its simplest way, shape, form possible. And it's a good reference thing to have, man. Just It's just great. It's just a great book. I don't know.